Today I'm going to talk about percents. Percents work really nicely with the solving proportions lesson that we just did and the lesson that we just did on similar triangles. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways how to solve these percent problems. I actually don't use proportions mostly to solve percent problems, but I can do it, so I'm going to show you how to do it. So the first way I'm going to show you is direct translation, which I think we talked about last year. What percent of 84 is 63? Well, of means multiplication. 84 means 84 is equals, and 63 is 63. The only thing that we don't know here, which will become our variable, is what percent. Okay. The tricky thing when you're doing this problem, so what we have here is 84x equals 63, is that when you actually solve for the variable, you're going to be getting a decimal or a fraction. You then need to change that into a percent because it is asking for a percent. So the number you're initially going to get is not the percent. So we have 84 divided by 84, and we'll end up with x equals, let's see, who knows what that is? So 8 plus 4. So these are both divisible by 3. So we'll start there. So 21 over, looks like 28 maybe? 21 over 28. Let's see, times 3 is 63. Times 3 would be 90. Yeah, okay. Now these are both divisible by 7, so we have 3/4. So we can turn that into a decimal. Let's put it down here. Which we know is 75%. So this is what our answer is going to be, 75%. Another way to do that is to turn 3/4 into something over 100, which would be 75 over 100, and that would be the answer. So the way you answer that is 75%. If you wanted to set that up as a proportion, what I do is I set up the proportion with the words part over whole, and then I have the number fraction, and then I have the percent fraction. And I just set it up this way every single time so that I never make a mistake. And so we're setting up a proportion, which means equal fractions. The percent that we're looking for here in the what percent is always the part. The whole of a percent is always 100. So the whole for the percent fraction is always going to be 100 every time. So you know, because of that the other percent is going to be on top. That is the variable. Oh, sorry, I guess I used x, so let me fix that. That'll be the variable in this case. And then we just have to figure out, well, which number is the part and which is the whole. And the way I read it is, when I read percent, I say what part of something is something. So what part, and the part is going to equal the part. Right? They would never have the part. What part equals the whole? That doesn't make sense. So part equals part, so the part in this case is unknown for the percent, but is 63, and the whole would be 84. Now you'll notice that we get the same fraction. See that? 63 over 84. So eventually you get to the same answer. It's just a matter of the setup in which you feel more comfortable with. In this case, the percentage is already taken care of. When you solve for x, it is the percent. So we're going to get 75 by solving this. So 63 over 84 again is 3/4. So here's our proportion. And so 300 equals 4x because of cross products there. And then you divide it by 4 and you're going to get x equals 75, which is 75%. All right, let's try that again. Different question. 125% of what number is 17.5? So I always will do direct translation if given the choice. So I know that 125% is the same as 1.25. Of is multiplication. What number, that means our variable, is 17. Oops. Let's do that again. Is 17.5. There we go. So I'm just solving this equation. 1.25n equals 17.5. I'm going to divide both sides by 1.25, which means n equals 1750 divided by 125. And I think that's going to go in pretty evenly. Let's see. 10, 25, so 4. I think that's 14. But we might want to double check that. So let's see, 1750 divided by 125. That's 1. We got 500, so 250. Yeah, 14. All right, so we know that the number, n equals that. So the number is 14. In this case, it's not a percent, so we just leave it as 14. 125% of 14 is 17.5. So setting that up as a proportion, just going to get rid of this to get this all on the same screen here. Again, same way. I'm going part over whole. I'm having the percent fraction and the number fraction. Doesn't matter which one is on which side. I think I might have switched it this time. Not a big deal. The bottom of the percent fraction, always 100 every time. In this case, the top is known. The part is 125%. And let's see. So part of something is part. So we know the part has to go as 17.5, and the number that we're looking for is right there. So we solve with cross products. It's nice to reduce first, so I'm going to say 5 over 4 equals 17.5 over n. That just leaves us with some smaller numbers to multiply together. So 5n is going to be equal to, what is this, 70, I guess, and then n is going to equal 14. All right, let's try another. What is 63% of 150? Again, translation, what is 0.63 times 150? Which is very simple because the variable is all alone on one side, so we're just doing the math in this case. 0, 5, 1, 3, 4, 0, 0, 0, 3, so that's 9. So we have, looks like 94.5. So what is 63% of 150? 94.5. Actually, I don't want to write that up there. I want to write it down here. So 94.5. If I was going to set this up as a I lost my mind for a minute. Proportion, there we go. Part over whole. We have the number fraction, the percent fraction. Let's make that an equal sign. So we have equals. As usual, the bottom of the percent is always 100. The 63 is going to be the part. And again, what is part? So I always look for that 63%, the small percent, and I know that part is part, so the n, or the y in this case, is on top, and the 150 is going to be on the bottom. I don't see anything reducing here, so we're just going to go with 100y equals 150 times 63. This 150 times 63 over here is going to end up the same as this, except without the 2 decimal places, so it's going to be that. But once we divide it by 100, we end up with that same answer, 94.5. All right, let's do this one here. What percent of 90 is 54? What percent, so we need some percent, times 90 is 54. Again, we're going to need a percent, so you have to make a change for that in the end. We divide by 90. Both these numbers are divisible by 9, so this is going to be 6 over 10, which we can reduce to 3/5. Again, for a percent, actually it's better to go from 6/10, so that's 60%. Setting it up as a proportion, a part over whole. Number in a percent, 2 fractions, bottom number always 100. And we need to know the percent. We don't know that. So what part of is part. So we know the 54 is the part here, and the 90 is the whole. Again, we can reduce that to make it easier on us to 6/10, and then we can actually do a little quick mental one here. Multiply by 10 on both, and we know that P equals 60%. All right, that's it for tonight's video. Thank you.